Alright, boys and girls, today we are going to learn how to draw an eye using our circles. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you've got your paper ready to go. Start with your large circle, set it in the center, and trace it. Remove the large circle, take your medium circle, center that one, and trace again. Next, you're going to take your small circle, set that in the center, and trace that one. With all three circles, we have created our iris, our pupil, and our eyeball. This will become our pupil, this will become the iris, or the colored part of our eye, and this is going to be our eyeball and help us place the shape of our eye. On each side, you want to mark with a little X so we can begin drawing the eyelid. First, we're going to draw our upper eyelid, and it needs to come through the eyeball, slightly through the iris, and ignore the pupil. So we will draw something like that. Once our upper eyelid is drawn, we're going to complete the bottom eyelid. This is going to go just below our iris. So starting at our X, we're going to curve and come back up and meet the X on the other side. Using the eyeball, we're going to draw the eyelid. Using the eyeball, we're going to draw the eyebrow. We're going to draw on the edge of the nose and the eyebrow line. The eyebrow line will touch the top of the large circle, or our eyeball, and is going to flare out at the ends. So for our eyebrow, we're going to start here, come around like this, and flare out down here. In here, we're going to get the edge of our nose. With these items drawn, we are ready to begin coloring. Now remember, these can be very abstract. They do not need to follow a standard eye. So I am going to begin working with my yellow pastel and coloring the colored part of my eye. I'm going to start come in on the outer edge with another color. When I color, I like to use warm colors for the inner and cool colors for the outer, or reverse it and use cool colors for the inner part and warm colors for the outer part. I think it really helps make the eye pop out and separate from the face. Now to blend these together, I can come in and I can rub back and forth with my thumb, and it will create almost a starburst effect as I come around the iris. With that done, this would normally be the white of the eye. I can leave it white, or I can add color. For right now, I'm going to leave it white and see what I think when I get the background completed. For my background, I'm going to begin with blue. Blue is a nice complement to orange, so I think it's going to help make the orange of the eye really stand out. When I do this, I want to start by outlining so I get a nice, crisp, clean line. So that I do not lose the shape of our eye or eyelid. When we draw an eye, we really are drawing the eyelid and showing the parts of the eyeball that we see inside. So here I've got my outline, and then I want to start to create the areas coming out from it. Now this is my way of doing this. This is how I like the exterior of the eye to look. You have all your creativity options available to you to make sure that your eye can still be seen, yet is abstracted when you are coloring it. Coming out from the blue, I'm going to work with some green. Notice how I did not color in this space. This is actually the part of the nose that we would see if we were to zoom in on our face and take a close-up picture of our eye. We would still see a portion of our nose. So I want to make sure I can still see that when I am done coloring. I want it to kind of fade from light to dark, so I'm going to put some light green in here as well. And I really want the nose to pop and to stand out. So I'm going to follow that shape as I color that section in. I'm going to make that more solid than the rest so that when I'm finished, we can see that as the bridge of the nose and it will kind of jump off of the paper a little bit. Now there's two ways to blend these. I can come in and I can smudge with my fingers again, and then I start to eliminate any of that excess white from my coloring. The other option I have is to work with a white oil pastel, and if I color over the top, it will start to blend everything and it will lighten it as well. So working with my white pastel on the bottom, I am blending my blue and my green together. It's lightening it and it's filling in all of my white spots. When I blend, I can come in the opposite direction that I initially colored and give it a nice smooth look. And if I decide I don't like the amount of blue that has gone missing, I can always come back in and I can add some blue to continue to show that gradation of color. Again, up here, I'm just blending with my finger. Now my eye still looks like it's not complete. It looks as if it is forgotten. The pupil, I think, is very important to leave black, so I will do that last. This area in here, I feel by leaving it white, it looks as if the picture is not finished now that I've added my blues and greens in. So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna separate the eyeball from the iris with red. Again, I like to outline my lines. Helps me stay in them when I'm coloring so I don't get smears with the oil pastels in areas where I don't want the red to appear. This area I'm going to fill with pink. Remember, pink is red with white added into it. So I'm going to take that route. And then I'm going to finish coloring with the pupil. I want to get a reflection, so I'm going to add a little dot and I'm going to leave that spot white. Then I can come in add in my pupil And black really smears, so I would take this to a trash can and tap it to get my oil pastels to fall off. Any that stick or catch, I can gently peel away so that I don't have black smears rubbing in. My eyebrow, we covered over when we were coloring. So I'm going to come in and recreate that eyebrow in here. With purple. Purple is another cool color. And then the last thing I'm going to need to do is add eyelashes. So this is my nose, which makes this the inner part of my eye. When we draw eyelashes, we always want to start at the inner part and curve ourselves out. So here's my inner part of my eye. Right on that line of my eyelid, I'm going to curve out and away, out and up to add my eyelashes. And I can bring these all the way around the eye. We also have eyelashes on our bottom eyelid. Biggest mistake I see is making the bottom eyelashes as long or longer than the upper eyelashes. We want to make them much smaller. So again, starting at the inner and curving down and out. And that is a demo on how you can make your abstract eye. Take a look after this video at all of the other samples, and when you're ready, gather your materials and begin your eye project.